It's 6:47 a.m. You are lying in a $400 a month apartment in Columbus, Ohio. The ceiling has a water stain shaped like a boot. You've been staring at it for 11 minutes. Your phone buzzes. You ignore it. It buzzes again and again. You pick it up. There's an email from a law firm in Geneva. Subject line: Estate of Heinrich Brauer, sole beneficiary confirmation. You don't know who Heinrich Brauer is. You've never been to Geneva. Your coffee is getting cold. You read the number in the email. You read it again. And then you stop breathing. Level 1. The confirmation. Net worth: approximately $1.2 billion. $1.2 billion has been wired into a private custodial account in your name. You don't know what a custodial account is. You're about to learn. You call the number in the email. A man with a flat Swiss accent says your name correctly on the first try. He's been waiting for your call. That detail will bother you for weeks. You sit up in bed. The mattress is a $180 Zionist from Amazon. You bought it 3 years ago. You've never flipped it. You call the number. A man answers. He says your name perfectly. He explains: a distant relative, a textile empire, no other living heirs, $1.2 billion, US dollars, liquid. You ask him to repeat the number. He does, slowly. You hang up and sit in silence for 4 minutes. Then you Google, what is $1 billion? You're still in yesterday's socks. Nothing has changed yet. Everything has changed. Level 2, the first 48 hours. Net worth: $1.2 billion, untouched. You check into the St. Regis Columbus, Suite 901, $4,200 a night. The sheets are 600 thread count Egyptian cotton. You run a bath at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. You can do that now. By hour 36, 11 people have texted you who haven't texted you in years. You didn't tell anyone. Someone talked. Someone always talks. You don't tell your roommate. You pack a backpack. You take a lift to the St. Regis. You've driven past it 200 times. You've never been inside. The concierge smiles at you as if you belong. You're wearing a $24 Hanes hoodie. He doesn't flinch. You order room service, a $64 Wagyu burger. It tastes like a burger. You expected it to taste like something else. You eat it alone, watching CNN with the volume off. Your phone won't stop. You turn it face down. You stare at the ceiling. It's pristine, no water stains. You miss your ceiling a little. Level 3, building the team liquid deployed. $22 million in first 90 days. You hire a private wealth manager at Goldman Sachs, a $4,800 an hour attorney, a family office advisor. Suddenly, you have a team of 11 people whose entire job is to protect your money. It feels like armor. Every person on your team is paid by you, which means every person on your team, on some level, is loyal to the money, not to you, the money. You fly to New York, first class, seat 2A. You paid $6,400 for it. A man in a $3,000 suit meets you at the gate. His name is Carter. He works for Goldman. Carter has 23 other clients worth more than $1 billion. He is very calm. You find this unsettling. He introduces you to 7 other people: tax attorney, estate planner, security consultant, PR strategist. They all shake your hand firmly. They all look at you like a problem they're already solving. You sign 47 pages of documents. You understand 11 of them. Carter says this is normal. You believe him. That's the first mistake. Level 4. The transformation spent: $14 million. Remaining: $1.186 billion. You buy a penthouse in Miami, $8.2 million. You buy a 2024 Porsche 911 Turbo S in Arctic Gray, $237,000. You buy a Patek Philippe 5711, $112,000 on a watch. You learn what the word illiquid means. Your 3 closest friends from Columbus visit you in Miami. You take them to dinner, $3,200 tab. You pay without looking. You see their faces when you do. Something shifts. It's tiny, but you both feel it. The penthouse has floor-to-ceiling glass. You can see the entire city. At 11 p.m., Miami glitters like a circuit board. You stand at the window with a glass of Petrus, $1,800 a bottle. It tastes like very good wine. You've started saying things like the car and the boat. You don't own a boat yet. but you will in 6 weeks. You FaceTime your mother. She asks if you're eating. You're standing in front of a $24,000 Sub-Zero refrigerator. You say yes. She says you look tired. She's right. Level 5, the New World annual burn rate, approximately $6.2 million. You get invited to a dinner in a private room at Nobu in Malibu. The other guests are a Formula One team owner, a tech founder worth $4 billion, and a Saudi prince's business director. This is your peer group now. You earned nothing. You inherited everything. They don't know that yet. The tech founder asks what you built. You pause for 0.6 seconds too long. He notices. He says nothing. He files it. You learn to speak a new language, not French, not Mandarin, the language of we're looking at a position in and our family office is allocating toward. You learn to say we when you mean me. You learn to never say the actual number. Everyone here knows the number. Nobody says it. You attend a charity gala in Beverly Hills. Ticket price, $25,000 per seat. A woman in Chanel tells you she's passionate about impact investing. You nod. You have no idea what she's going to say next. Neither does she. You donate $500,000 to a children's hospital, not because you plan to, because the person next to you donated $400,000. Welcome to the performance of generosity. Level 6. The threats begin. Legal fees. Why? $1.8 million. Your security consultant upgrades your package. You now have 2 former Secret Service agents, a full-time driver named Marcus, and a 24/7 monitoring service for your digital footprint. You feel protected. That's exactly what they want you to feel. 3 lawsuits in 8 months. A distant cousin in Portugal claims a share of the estate. An ex-girlfriend files a palimony suit. A man in Cleveland says you defamed him on Instagram, an account he claims you run. You don't run any Instagram. Someone is impersonating you. Carter says this is normal. You get the first threat letter on a Tuesday. It comes to your penthouse address. Only 11 people know that address. Marcus drives you to your attorney's office. You sit in a $280 an hour conference room. Everything costs $280 an hour now. Your attorney says the word frivolous 14 times. Then he bills you $4,200. You start sleeping with your phone face up. You check it at 2 a.m., at 4 a.m., at 5:17 a.m. Marcus is always outside. You appreciate Marcus. Marcus doesn't ask questions. You've started to value that more than almost anything. Level 7. The isolation. Close friends remaining. 2. You have access to everything. Every restaurant, every country, every room. You could be anywhere in the world tonight. You have a Gulfstream G550 on a fractional ownership contract. $4.1 million a year. You are untethered from geography. You are free. Freedom, at this scale, looks a lot like loneliness from the inside. You haven't cooked a meal in 14 months. You haven't grocery shopped. You haven't waited in a line. You haven't had a conversation where the other person wasn't calculating something. You fly to Santorini for 3 days, alone. You stay at a private villa, $18,000 a night. The view is extraordinary. You take one photo of it. You don't post it anywhere. You sit on the terrace for 4 hours. You think about your roommate from Columbus. He texted you 7 months ago. You read it and didn't respond. Not because you didn't want to, because you didn't know what to say anymore. The gap had gotten too wide, not in money, in experience, in the version of yourself that no longer exists. Level 8, the cost of the number. Current net worth, $940 million after fees, taxes, legal burn. You have lost $260 million in 22 months. Not too bad investments. The infrastructure is required to hold this much money. Taxes, legal defense, team salaries. The machine that protects the machine costs more than most people will earn in 1,000 lifetimes. You sit with Carter in his office on the 42nd floor of One World Trade. He shows you a projection. To maintain your lifestyle and the security apparatus around it, you need to generate an 8% annual return on the liquid portfolio. Otherwise, in 19 years, you will be worth nothing. You nod, you sign, you fly home, you don't sleep. This is the part nobody talks about. The number doesn't just sit there. It breathes, it bleeds. Your estate planning attorney retires. His replacement charges 30% more. The IRS audits you. Not because you did anything wrong, because at this level, they always audit you. You spend $2.3 million defending a clean return. You win. You feel nothing. You fly home on the Gulfstream. You look out the window at 41,000 feet. You think about the water stain on the ceiling in Columbus. You think, at least I knew what that stain cost me. This costs everything. And you can't see where it ends. Level 9, the truth at the top, net worth $940 million, cost, everything else. Here is what nobody tells you about $1 billion. It doesn't buy freedom. It buys a better cage. The cage has 600 thread count sheets and an ocean view. But you cannot leave without Marcus. You cannot speak without the PR strategist. You cannot sign without the attorney. You cannot exist without a team of 23 people whose job is to manage the complexity of you. You wake up at 3 a.m. in the villa in Santorini, the same way you woke up at 3 a.m. in Columbus, staring at the ceiling. This ceiling doesn't have a water stain. It has nothing at all. That's worse. You pick up your phone. You open the email from Geneva. Subject: Estate of Heinrich Brauer. You read it one more time. You wonder what Heinrich's ceiling looked like, whether anyone was there when he stared at it, whether the number was worth it to him, whether it's worth it to you. You don't have an answer. You set the phone face down. Marcus is outside. The Gulfstream is fueled. You can go anywhere. You have no idea where to go. Outro. The cycle. Heinrich Brauer spent 61 years building this. He died in a clinic in Geneva with 2 nurses in the room. No family, no friends who knew the real number, just the money and the machine that held it. Now it's your machine. The ceiling is yours. The silence is yours. The number is yours. And somewhere in Columbus, Ohio, right now, someone is staring at a water stain, thinking, if I just had the money, everything would be different. They're right. They're completely wrong. This has always been the deal. It will always be the deal.